Greetings, programs. Welcome to Hydaelyn's Heroes, the Final Fantasy XIV podcast, where whether you're Warrior of Light or Warrior of Darkness, all are welcome on the star we call home. It is patch 7.1. It has landed, and I'm here with my boy Piers, and we're gonna talk about jobs. We're gonna talk about jobs, not the ones that we go and get our paycheck and survive. We're talking about the ones in the game, okay? We're gonna break it down by role and what we're liking, what we need to see improved, and all the changes that came with 7.1. So let's get right into it. To join me, as always, he is the Cinco de Papi. He is the Shadow Lord to my Promathia. He is the one and only Piers Harvey. What's up, dude? Yeah. Imagine. Okay. Yeah, buddy. Awesome. Whoop. All right. And that reference was a Final Fantasy 11 reference. My boy Piers just finished the 11 raid, dude. How was it? Nice. Well, aside from getting laid, but whoa, is that kind of show? Hey, to each their own. Awesome. Yeah. Nice. Or even EXs. Let's spice up EXs, right? Let's do that. Okay. That is actually part of my raid trial tonight. So we are all going in blind, I believe. So I figure, you know what? That is actually a really good way to judge someone. It's like, hey, how do you work with us and learning this new content? So I'm excited. Yeah. Yeah. So let's dive into it. First off, you know what, we got jobs, and we got statistics for these jobs and how they're doing, and the healers, I'm sorry, they're down here, and they should be down here. I think there's a little bit more disparity than there should be. Tanks tank tanks are above them. They're all clustered pretty together. Looks pretty good. I like that balance. Oh, the DPS. Oh, we're gonna talk about it, but man, that DPS, man, that is some ranges of awesomeness to hot garbage. Okay. They're already painting supreme.
Probably going to be a little bit 7.0, so balance wise.
All right, so just an FYI, no one heard Piers talk previously, so that is awesome because Piers was muted.
What, me?
But we're good. You're live now.
What do you mean? You didn't hear?
I had you muted on my end.
Was I muted on your end?
Yeah. I mute you at the intro because sometimes I get clank, and so
I
my
see.
bad. Final Fantasy 11 is awesome. Lots of Easter eggs. Great mechanics. Can't wait to see him. And he is the Shadow Lord to my Promathia, so which you all know of.
Yes.
So. Good times. Yeah, everyone's caught up now.
That was pretty much all I said. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So healers are good. Tanks are good. DPS is out of whack, but we're going to talk about it. So let's start with the tanks, though, right? All right. Let's start with the tanks.
Sure. Good place to start.
All right. Paladin. Hey, cover. So just as a note, I haven't read a lick of these. Piers has been all through this and been talking in the group, and I've been trying to not spoil myself. So cover. Range has been extended for 10 to 20 ohms. Okay. Yay? Nay? I mean...
Cover has its applications. People still want it to not cost gauge. There are people who just think that the gauge on Paladin just is useless, period.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I don't disagree, unfortunately. But, look, cover in the past was used to break a lot of mechanics.
Fair.
Because
Fair.
it was free, and it also provided a defense buff for the tank. Or not for the Paladin. So when you would cover another tank, for example, to take a tank buster, you got stronger. So there was a lot of broken stuff you could do with cover. So they had to rein it in, but now it's almost useless. So I'm glad that it got a range increase. But I don't think that just now all of a sudden you're going to see covers being thrown left, right, and center. It's just not going to happen. So
I mean, I think we see it a little bit more in our group because our Paladin sometimes forgets to put on that stance, and he's got to cover our Black Mage out of the blue.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, there's definitely some clutch things you can do with cover, but...
Yeah. Intervene. Now it's required at level 66, which is awesome. It was level 74, so it being brought down, I think lower level for those dashes in general for all the tank jobs should be kind of normalized, and I think that puts everyone in the same range. So this is a good change for those that are still leveling. And then Hollow Ground. Effects of this action will now be applied earlier. Hallelujah. No longer have to wait 7 seconds for you to hit the button and actually take effect.
I mean, 7 seconds is a little bit of an exaggeration, but there have been many times, and look, who knows how fast it is now. I'm not a tank. I haven't tried it. But there, a tale as old as time is the tank saying, oh man, I'm looking at the ability going down my bar. I can see it. Oh, Hollow Ground active, but I'm dead. So it's now, hopefully, this won't happen anymore. It'll be a little bit more snappy to hit that button and get you invincible. So, we'll see.
All right. So no damage buffs, no real met buffs, just kind of some quality of life stuff. All right.
Yep.
They
must seem to like where Paladin is sitting right now. So, and
according to the statistics, they're medium of the pack. It's, they're doing all right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Warrior, home gang. Effect now be applied earlier. Good. Keeping in line, kind of homogenize. Oh, is that the word we like to use? Homogenize. And chaotic cyclone hit detection of this action will now trigger earlier. All right.
Yeah, so we'll notice this a little bit in this. They're making a lot more abilities that would lock in their damage late happen earlier. Chaotic Cyclone is one of those abilities where you would watch the whole animation of you rising up in the air, spinning your axe, you would come down, and then all the damage would happen. Yep. Now they want you to hit the button, the damage happens, which is really good. It helps. It'll keep warriors alive when they're pulling and they have bloodwetting up. And you won't have to wait until that damage triggers for you to get all the bloodwetting regen procs or the healing ticks.
Yeah.
So it's overall, that's actually a pretty solid change for warrior, specifically in AoEing type situations. So
again, no defensive buffs, no offensive buffs. They're at the bottom of the tanks. Thought they could have maybe used some love. Just a little bit? Bring them up just a little
Possibly. Bit? I mean, Warrior is by far, in my opinion, the tankiest of the tanks. Funny to say.
Their self-sustain offsets their offensive capability, you think?
Yeah, they're practically invincible, dude. If a Warrior doesn't want to die, they're not going to die. If they have buttons to press, they're very, very strong defensively. So maybe they want to keep the most bulky tank at the bottom of the pack when it comes to damage. But I mean, even if you look at that graph, the tanks are so close to each other that it's you know what I mean? It's not even that big of a deal. So sure, maybe they could have used some slight potency buffs, but honestly, I don't think any warrior's going to be that upset that they're not doing more damage. They're fine.
All right.
So
Dark Knight. Okay. We got a chunk here. Dark Mine now also reduces physical damage. Hey, only took 6 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, I'm assuming Dark Mine still reduces magic damage by 20. I believe it was 20.
Yeah.
And it was on a 60-second cooldown, and I believe it still is. I think Dark Mind has been a tragically underrated ability in Dark Knight's kit for a long time. A lot of people sleep on Dark Mind. And
I forget about it. When I play, I forget about it because it's just like, oh.
And that's fair. If you're not taking it into, like, you know, harder core stuff like Savage or Ultimate stuff,
I don't.
Then, you know, because almost every tank buster in this Savage tier has been magical. So Dark Mind's going to do a lot for that. Maybe not
Black Cat,
the first fight. Yeah, Black Cat seems a lot of physical, but like even if you think of like Wicked Thunder, like all of her tank busters are absolutely magical. So being able to Dark Mind those is pretty powerful. But yes, now it just makes Dark Mind more versatile. It's just going to give Dark Knights another button to press when they need to mitigate damage, whether it be magical or physical. Overall, I think it is a good change for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it super duper addresses some of the issues Dark Knight has. I mean, we'll get into some of those as we keep going with these buffs, but
I mean, I can see now Dark Minds. I mean, just from my personal, you know, thought during M4S, you know, she does some fucking brutal autos. Like when the healers are busy with taking care of the group, like this could be a fucking lifesaver. That extra 10%.
And like I said, dude, it's a 60-second cooldown, so it's up pretty often. Yeah. So, you know, you can just slap it on for free now and mitigate some autos or something. So definitely a good change for Dark Knight. But like I said, I don't think Dark Knights were really struggling defensively. It was more the self-sustain and the damage rotation that people were complaining about. But, you know, I'm not going to complain for 10% extra mit on Dark Mind. Yeah. So...
Living Dead, the effect of this action will now be applied earlier. Standardizing that.
Same pattern here.
That's good. Abyssal Drain. Cure potency has been increased from 200 to 500. That's nice because the healing on that was kind of garbage for bulk pulls. So,
an ability that is on 60-second cooldown, by the way.
Yeah. I mean,
that you can use one time.
Yeah. I will say it is kind of like throwing a band-aid on a gaping freaking wound, but I mean, okay, sure, thanks, I'll take it.
It is. There are a lot of Dark Knights out there saying they want the Abyssal Drain and Carven Spit to be different buttons. They want to unattach them from being the same button because they are on the same cooldown. You either use one or you use the other. And I think, honestly, Abyssal Drain should be separated from Carven Spit, and I think it should be put on a shorter cooldown.
I was thinking if you separate them and you put them both at 45 seconds.
Yeah, I could see that. Going up to 500 now just basically means if you're in an ad pack, you will be healed to full. I mean, that's absolutely absurd amounts of HP.
Actually, you know what? For 2-minute window purposes, we'll make it 40 seconds. It'd be like Phlegma.
Oh, 40 seconds, yeah. Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, so you're wanting to keep using them, but you know you're getting heals out of them. So,
yeah. But yeah, that's a good change for ad pulling in dungeons and stuff like that. So
I should have read one more down. Carven Spit additional effect restores own HP. So yeah, Carven Spit the single is gonna get a heal finally.
Sure.
Finally. So yeah, splitting those up seems actually very wise.
Yes, I think they should be split up, but you know, again, this is a good little thing for Carven Spit to give 500 healing potency. Again, the issue with that is that Dark Knights are using Carven Spit in the same point in their rotation every single time. They'll be using it at the 60 seconds and during 2-minute bursts. So you don't want to hold it. It's not on a charge system or anything, which is also another decent idea that maybe they should give it charges.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's going to be cool if you're in your burst and you happen to have some HP you need to heal. There you go. Maybe just top yourself off. Feels good. But you're not going to like hold Carven Spit to like get the heal or anything. You're going to use it for damage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same issue that I have with Pictomancer's Starry Muse or Starry Night Sky, whatever it's called, the big hit that you use. It's like you're going to use that at the same point in your rotation at every point. Yeah, it's a big AoE heal for the party, but like, what if the party's full? Like, you're not going to save it for the heal, right? You're just going to hit the button. So kind of the same issue that I have with this Carven Spit. But again, you know, it's something. Hey, look, it's something. It'll help Dark Knight self-sustain, and God, it needs the help with the self-sustain. It's the only job, or only tank, I should say, that has like really, really bad self-sustain. So a little bit of something, a little sprinkle of something I don't think any Dark Knight's going to turn up their nose at it, but it probably could use a little bit more.
Sure. Bloodspurler potency getting increased from 580 to 600. I'll just looks like some other ones. Scarlet Delirium, 600 620. Comeuppets, 700 720. Tor Cleaver, 800 820. So some buffs, some DPS buffs. Mind you, they are at the top of the DPS chain as far as tanks. So
very surprising that they got damage buffs. Honestly, very surprising. I guess they really want Dark Knight to be that damaging tank. So I mean, there you go.
And maybe they're starting their whole, job identity thing for 8.0 a little bit early, but God, like it felt like last expansion they were all about closing the gap, and here they're like, no, we like the role of the warrior. They're not really doing anything. Paladins, okay, and let's give Dark Knight some. I like having those kind of roles, but the problem is this game revolves around the DPS. So people are gonna take unless they're like totally bound by the job, like Aki and Paladin. You're gonna take the job that's most powerful, so you can get through the content faster.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, like I said before, I think the tank balance right now is so close that when it comes to bringing a tank, you're going to bring the player instead of the job. Right now,
True.
Who knows what they do in 8.0? But like, if there is a warrior that is just like a Chad warrior who can do that damage, you're going to bring them over some like mid Dark Knight. You know what I mean? So like, that's a thing. Whereas for the DPS, you might want to take the mid Pictomancer over the Chad Red Mage. I'm just saying, or Summoner. You know what I mean? Maybe Pictomancer is going to bring more
Chad Machinist, but you know what? I'm going to go over that over Picto. Yeah, no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I think tank balance right now is actually pretty good. So if they want to just give Dark Knight a little bit more zest, I guess that's fine.
Sure.
Maybe they're making up for their crappy self-sustain with damage. Here's some more damage. So.
And the one I skipped over, Dark Missionary, you get a little bit earlier, 66. Cool. Now also reduces physical damage taken by 5%, and that's the AoE Dark Mind, right?
Yes, that is their like raid mitt that they have.
And
like this is important. It is like an animal.
Yeah.
This is important because now Dark Knights can use Dark Missionary in Uwu and Ukab, where they previously could not. And they were the only tank in the whole game that did not have a raid mitigation. Now they do.
That's
so
awesome.
There you go.
Awesome. More clears for people in Uwu. Yay. Gunbreaker. Aurora. Cure potency increased from 200 to 300. Okay, sure.
I'm glad. That's a good change, I think.
Sure.
I like Aurora as a button anyway. You can throw it on other players as well as yourself.
That's nice.
And it's just good to see a little bit more regen on that. So,
Super Bolide. Effects of the action will be applied earlier, standard now. No longer reduces HP to 1 and instead reduces HP to 50% of maximum. Nice. The memes are over, my friends. No more benediction and then back to 1 hit point.
Yeah, I'm assuming if you're below 50%, it's just going to keep you at the number you were. Like if you're at 25%, you hit the button, you're just going to stay at 25.
I hope so.
You're not going to get healed up to 50 or something. No, I don't think that's going to be how it works. But still, no, it's a really interesting change actually. So, pretty cool.
Since we went over the tank stuff, like who's got the best invuln?
It's Warrior. Hello?
Absolutely Warrior. Yeah. 3.5 minutes, right?
It's 4 minutes.
4 minutes now? Oh.
3.5. Could you imagine? I'm pretty sure it's 4.
Right.
I think it's 4. I think Gunbreaker and Dark Knight are 6, 5 or 6.
Paladin 7.
I can't remember. And Paladin 7. Paladin is 7. Yeah.
All right. We wanted to go over individual tank stuff, like the new stuff for tank. So Paladin, because we haven't, done jobs before.
Is that what we're doing now? Are we just going right from... We skipped Gunbreaker.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we absolutely did skip it.
Okay, I just went over Aurora and then Silver Bullite. All right, Heart of Light. Also, just the physical damage taken by 5%.
It's the same as Missionary. They were the same button anyway. Like, basically. Literally the same effect. So now they just have the same effect again. So.
Hypervelocity. Potency has been reduced from 180 to 160. Potency
a little nerf.
Increase from the mastery change from 220 to so a little nerf.
Because of this next one.
Double down. Cartridges have been reduced from 2 to... Oh my god.
Yes.
Wow.
So now you're going to get an extra cartridge
strike.
to use a burst strike plus a hypervelocity. So they were like, okay, well, since you're getting a whole, another burst strike in your rotation, let's take a little bit of potency off hypervelocity.
Okay,
That's
so
what it is.
a little bit of a DPS buff, right? That's got to be a DPS buff.
I definitely think it's a buff for sure.
Because one less, I mean, over the course of a fight, I mean, you're getting quite a few more burst strikes and hypervelocity. So yeah, instead of your 1, 2, 3, yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Does that fix the issues with them being so goddamn busy? I feel like that it's even more busy because you got more OGCDs now.
I don't know. I haven't played Gunbreaker or actually played with anybody who's played Gunbreaker in level 100, so I don't know how people are feeling about it. I heard it was a little bit less busy. I know it's a little bit less demanding to go into your burst windows now because of the Lionheart combo, right? Because now you don't have to worry having like all of these cartridges. You can go in with less cartridges because you know a good portion of your burst is going to be the Lionheart combo. But
can't you pop? Can you pop your powder before combat?
What do you mean? Do you start with 3? Is that what you're saying?
No, can you pop your button, your 2-minute button
before combat?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Are you talking about Bloodfest? Bloodfest needs a target. Because you're like drawing out the ether out of them and like transforming it into cartridges.
Suck it out.
If you want the
I don't tank very much, okay? I don't tank very much. All right.
I get it.
All right, let's go over these abilities real quick, and then we'll the health of the tank in general here. So Paladins, they got Guardian in 92. That is just buffed up Sentinel, going for 30 to 40%, and they get a barrier, 1,000 potency barrier. That's fat. That's awesome.
That's a very strong, very, very strong button now. I mean, Sentinel, the 30% mitts were always strong, but now it's even stronger.
Yeah.
All of them are stronger. We'll see a pattern, but yes, that's one of the stronger of the additional effects on these 40% mitts. Paladin made out pretty lucky. So. Yeah.
Imperator. This is basically turning Request a Carrot to an AoE. So it's an upgrade. We don't have to say, Request a Carrot.
Correct. Yeah, nobody could say Requiescat anyway, so like now they just say Imperator because it sounds cooler, I guess.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I kind of liked what were people like something cat, like I forget what they were saying. Something with a cat.
Request a cat. Request a carrot.
Request cat or something yeah. Request cat, something like that. Yeah.
And then they got at level 100 Blade of Honor, which is an OGCD that's at the end of their Blade of Valor series, right?
Yes, this is granted to you when you finish your Blade combo with Blade of Valor. It gives you Blade of Honor ready, which allows you to use Blade of Honor. It's an OGCD, so you just kind of pop it, and it feels good because it does a crap load of damage.
How is it potency? Holy balls!
A lot. That's a lot of potency.
Now, I've heard in the past other content creators talk about damage variance, and the more damage variance you have with bigger number abilities is not necessarily good for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe this is just it's going a little too far? We need to rail that back in with 8.0 maybe?
Well, Paladin's definitely not the only one who's dealing with this. There are a lot of jobs that are dealing with this, and in fact, there might be some jobs that are dealing with this even more in 7.1 with some of the changes. But yes, damage variance is always going to be a pain in the ass because you could perform your job flawlessly, trust me, I know, and because you don't happen to crit enough, your parse is going, okay, your magical number that happens on a website that you can see that has a funny color you can look at is going to be lower because you didn't crit enough of your perfulgences or your verflares or anything. Yep. This is a red mage, all right. So conversely, it also makes like jobs like samurai who direct crit everything that they do very, very consistent when it comes to their damage. Yeah, so as long as you perform your job perfectly, it should reflect in your funny magical number on website. So yes,
Funny magical number on Abacus, and to
Correct.
then upload Abacus numbers to website. Yeah.
So yeah, it's always a pain. Certain jobs definitely feel that variance a lot harder than others. Gunbreaker comes to mind with like Double Down, and even the Lionheart combo. So yeah, it's just an issue that I think they do have to look at some point for the health of the game, because just like some jobs just perform worse if they're really unlucky, and who likes to feel that way? You know what I mean? Like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's always kind of been like, I mean, it's how the game's played for a long time, but they've, there's some jobs that they've kind of pulled away from that, and one of them Samurai, one's Warrior, like everything they do direct crit, so it's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Speaking of Warrior, their abilities at 92, they got Damnation. This is their 30%er going up to 40%. And they also get like a revenge mechanic where they're dealing damage. Not a lot every time they take a hit, and then they get a regen if they actually take a hit. So cool.
That is correct. Vengeance has had that reflect the damage ability forever. In fact, I believe they had it all the way back in 2.0. This is very, very old ability that they've just decided to never change. It's the only tank 30%. Well, now it's a 40% that had like an additional effect on it. All the other ones were just like, oh, here's 30%. Yeah. Warrior's like, oh, here's 30% plus you get to do reflect damage. So it was always kind of unique in that way. But yes, Warriors now get a regen when they get hit under Damnation because, God knows that Warriors need more HP. There's like 3 different ways to get regen on Warrior. Like 3 different ways. There's Equilibrium. Yep. There's Damnation now, and then there is Shake It Off. So, like, the amount of regens that they can just get, again, I told you, they're unkillable. It's unreal. So, this just makes them even more unkillable.
Yep, I agree. Wouldn't it be cool if there was a Thorns tank?
Yeah.
That'd be a cool mechanic, right?
Could be cool. Yeah, except they would always they would never be off tank for any reason. Like, why would you? I guess maybe you could give the Thorns to your other tank or something as an ability.
Maybe.
Like a stance. Put on, like, Thorn stance, and it gives the other tank the Thorns or something. I don't know.
It could be their, 30-second. Like Harder Corundum.
Yeah, we're cooking. All right.
Yeah.
We're in the kitchen, guys.
Hey, we've always said we're game dev. Hey, this guy over here, he's a game dev. He's a game dev.
I'm working on it. Okay, I'm almost there. I hope so.
Primal Wrath delivers attack to all nearby enemies with potency of 700 for first enemy, 70 for all less. And that is OGCD. Where does that come into play, sir? Because I know you Warrior.
When you use your inner release, which now inner release is even more important. Like it was always integral to Warrior, but now it's like they just keep tacking stuff on to the inner release. Now, when you get your 3 free Fell Cleaves, every Fell Cleave that you do, you generate this stack of, it's called Wrathful. And when you get to 3 stacks of Wrathful, you get to use Primal Wrath for free. It's an OGCD. You do have to do those 3 Fell Cleaves, though. If for some reason the boss jumps away, or whatever reason, you're not able to get those 3 off, you will not be able to Primal Wrath. So you have to make sure you can get all 3 of those Fell Cleaves off. But yeah, just some free damage during your inner release window. So
what if you get more Fell Cleaves off? Can you get more? Can you get 6 off? Maybe you can.
Yes, I mean at some point you'll be spending gauge, like if you have gauge, but they won't direct crit. They'll just be like regular Fell Cleaves, like just normal.
And then Primal Ruination at level 100 does a critical direct hit. Here we go with that critical direct hit of 780. Also is an AoE. Decreases damage dealt when under an effect that raises critical hit rate or direct hit. Okay. It can only be XY under the effect of Primal Ruination Ready. How do we get that ability, sir?
By using Primal Rend.
Oh, yay! It's tacked on.
Again, when you inner release, you are granted Primal Rend, which is you jump up in the air, you spin around, and you hit the enemy. Yeah. And now, after you do that, you get to turn your axe gigantic, which is hilarious, by the way. The entire model that you're holding gets big. So you can hold this really goofy-looking axe, and it just gets gigantic, and you just slam it into the enemy.
Nice.
It's great.
Nice.
So, more damage.
More damage. Feels Yay! Good. All right, Dark Knight. Scroll down. All right. I got a lot of stuff here. Shadow Vigil. Damage increase. Damage. This is their shadow wall. Up to 40%. Grants Vigilant, which stores HP when HP falls. So it's a
Excog.
It's an Excog. Yes. You know, that one that I don't know how to use.
You absolutely do not know how to use it. And now, maybe if you ever play Dark Knight, you won't be able to use it either because maybe you'll never shadow. I don't know. Anyway, it's one of the weaker abilities on the tank 40%. A lot of people are memeing on it because, you know, of course, Dark Knight always gets the crap end of the stick when it comes to everything. So why not just give them the worst effect? I don't know. Look, it's something, and that pure potency should not be underestimated. 1200 is a lot of potency. So, you know, when you're about to take a big old tank buster, you can slap that Shadow Vigil and you just watch your HP just shoot back, then shoot back up. It feels pretty good. So
nice. All right, and then we got the Scarlet Delirium Comeuppance and Tor Cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't have a Dark Knight at this stage, but they got buffs. They just got buffs, so.
So these are granted to you when you use Delirium, which is the Dark Knight version of Inner Release, right?
Yes.
So in the past, you would just spam Blood Spiller 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Now you get this whole slick-looking combo when you Delirium.
All right.
So
no more Blood Spiller spam. Got it.
Yeah, you'll still Blood Spiller when you're not under Inner Release.
Yeah, might as well
Delirium.
just say Inner Release.
But yes, you, and honestly, the animations look really sick, so it's pretty cool.
Impalement delivers an attack with potency of 320 to all nearby enemies and restores MP. Can only be used for Delirium. I'm guessing this is the AoE version.
It is the AoE version, yes. It turns Quietus into Impalement. So like Blood Spiller turns into that combo.
Okay.
Now, if you want to AoE, it turns Quietus into Impalement to do extra damage while you're under Delirium. So.
All right. And Disesteem deals physical damage to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 1000 for the first enemy and then trails off. Can only be executed while Scorn is active. What the fuck is Scorn?
Scorn is granted when you use the Shadow clone. What's it called? Living Shadow.
Living Shadow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So you Living Shadow, and you get access to a button that lets you do this gigantic attack for 1000 potency. And your Living Shadow gets to do it too. It doesn't do it as strong,
sure, but
it's still pretty cool when you get to like sync up your Disesteems with your Living Shadow.
I gotta say, Dark Knight sounds like a lot of fun.
Dark Knight is a lot of fun. People like to hate on it a lot. Honestly, I think Dark Knight's pretty cool. I just think it needs some self-sustain, and it'll be perfect. Yeah, but it'll be,
top tier.
All right. They use gigantic, cool-looking swords. So
we're gonna try to speed things here because I know we're in a little bit of a time crunch. So Gunbreaker 92, Great Nebula. This is their 40%er. Increases maximum HP by 20% and restores the amount increased. So that's Thrill of Battle attached to it.
It's a Thrill of Battle. People say this one's the best because it's just like straight up just extra HP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 20% is nothing to scoff at. That is a ginormous chunk of HP. That's better than 1000 potency shield, right?
I would say so.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Fated Brand delivers an attack with a potency of 120 to all nearby enemies. Can only be executed when ready to raise. It's the continuation.
It's the continuation after you use Fated Circle. So again, AoE.
Another
when you're
attachment.
AoE, when you're spinning your cartridges, you get to slam your gun to the ground. You get to do extra damage.
Cool. Reign of Beasts deliver an attack of potency to all enemies of 800 and then trail off. Ready to Rain. So with it, we get a combo.
Yes.
Off of that. Okay.
So, after we use I just said the name. It's called
Circle?
Bloodfest. It's Bloodfest.
Bloodfest. Okay.
After you use Bloodfest, which gives you your 3 cartridges, or it's like it fills you up with cartridges, you now get access to it. The button turns into the Reign of Beast combo, which it should always go into your 2-minute burst window because Bloodfest is on 2 minutes, and you just shove it in there and it does a crap load of damage, and it looks really cool because it's all like Final Fantasy VIII Squall stuff.
Yeah, it's Reign of Beasts to Noble Blood to Lionheart, right?
Yep.
Cool beans. All right, big damage. Sounds good.
It should also be noted for tanks. Let me just say this real quick that at level 94, level 94, all the tanks got a buff to Rampart, which it's still the same old 20% damage taken, but now it gives them a HP recovery via healing actions on self by 15%.
That's awesome.
So it just gives them a nice little extra HP healed when they have Rampart up. So
yeah. So warriors are even more OP.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah, make your regen stronger. Sure.
Yeah. And then they also got an enhanced reprisal. So their reprisal is now 15 seconds. Yay! That's good. Good stuff. So yeah, how are we feeling about tanks overall? Are they in a good spot?
Tanks are in a really good spot. Yes. As far as all of the roles in this game right now, I would maybe there could be an argument made for melee DPS, but I honestly think that tanks are probably the most well balanced. And I think they all bring a little bit of something special to the table. And I honestly think you could pick any of these jobs and be perfectly okay jumping into any content that you want. Any of these jobs can absolutely clear anything. That goes for every job in Final Fantasy, but like even more so for the tanks. Just pick which one you like the best. Pick which one, the playstyle you like the best. Obviously, there's some issues with like Dark Knight and blah, blah, but like I still think Dark Knight's fine. So yeah, I'm really liking tanks in 7.0. So
I will say that if you want to skip mechanics, and sometimes you do, who the fuck wants to do that last mechanic on M4S? Just bring the biggest damage. I'm sorry, just do it. Just do it.
True. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go Dark Knight Gunbreaker, I mean, people are not going to look at you wrong. People are going to be like, yeah, you like doing damage.
You like doing that. You like skipping mechanics. You like getting content cleared. All right, cool. So yeah, Dark Knight definitely going to be at the top with the damage buffs they have. Gunbreaker right behind them. Paladin Warriors stay the same, but overall, I think things are good. Things are good with the tanks. All right, healers. Suck healers, dude.
Oh, we're doing healers now. All right, we got to skip through a bunch of these.
Okay, I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling, not looking. I'm not looking.
Down to healer.
There we go.
Healer.
Asuna cast time is made instant. That's awesome.
Yeah,
love it. That's cool.
Honestly, that's pretty cool. Look, whenever I think of stuff, I think like Ultimate's in my brain always, because that's like the best content in the game. And you have to Asuna in T. You have to. Mm-hmm. So now it just makes it easier to Asuna in T. So
what was it? Palace Athena having to Asuna, just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I gotta take care of that.
That's right. The tank, when the tank's getting hit.
Yep. I had to Asuna both. I'm like, okay, and because of the cast time, I had to time it just perfectly. So now it's just boop, it's done. Good shit.
Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, White Mages. Holy has had their cast time reduced from 2.5 to 1.5. Good. This is awesome. Now, can we get the stun off of that? Because, like, Jesus Christ. I mean,
dude, the stun is so powerful.
The stun is so powerful, but when you're a tank and you're like, oh, I wanna stop that ability. No, I can't stun because they're all freaking.
Well, they're stun resistant.
They're stun resistant. It's like, god damn it.
For me, it's more the white mage who wants to holy before I have all the adds together, and then there's like a little group on the side that's like stunned, and the other ones are over here, and it's like, man, come on.
Yeah,
but that's a skill issue, whatever.
Asylum, the visual effects indicating the area of effect has been adjusted. I mean, so does this look like a bubble?
I haven't seen it. People have been speculating that maybe there's an outline on the Asylum so you can see where it is better. Like where the edges of it are. I mean, but again, I haven't seen it in game. I could just literally get on White Mage and see it right now if I wanted, but.
Okay. Potency on Glare has been increased from 330 to 340. Cast time, yep, that's a buff. Holy 3, cast time reduced, good. Afflatus Misery, potency increased from 1320 to 1360. Good. Because I think it was. Talk about that?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
You want to talk about that damage variance? There you go.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the hardest hitting moves in the entire video game of Final Fantasy 14. Yep. So when that doesn't direct crit, you feel real bad.
Yeah. and that might be why these white mages are at the bottom, at the very, very bottom. Because, like, I'm sorry, Square just keeps pushing this piety thing on us. Can we just have direct hit on our stuff
Sure.
instead of piety,
Honestly,
or give us back cleric stance.
sure.
You want
Maybe if
to
it's just like
you want to
buff
see
for-
skill cleric stance. Let's see what we can do.
There you go. Okay.
Divine Caress area effect has been increased from 15 to 30 elms. I'm not familiar with Divine Caress.
The healers are something I'm not super experienced with. I believe
Okay.
Divine Caress is one of their newest abilities. I think it's the one where all the light comes down from the sky. You can use it when you're when you have your wings out. Temperance. I think you can use it when Temperance is out. I believe that's the ability.
Divine Caress creates a barrier around self and all party members that absorbs damage equal to 400. Okay, so it's a shield. No, it just looks like it's a. Well, it's off. Yeah, it's an OGCT. So, yeah, maybe it's attached to.
I think it is. I have to skip over to the White Mage, but
I mean, yeah, they got a little bit of a potency buff. I mean, looking at this though, Astros, man, they're just good. Astros, man, are really good.
Astros are doing very, very well right now. I would like to see if these are very slight buffs, but I mean, white mages are called glare mages for a reason. You use glare a lot, so I'm sure that 10% potency is going to add up over time. So maybe we'll see again that gap be closed a little bit between white mage and Astro. But I mean, man, Astro is just doing a ridiculous amount of damage. RDPS, mind you, RDPS.
Yeah, Ray DPS. Yeah.
Yes.
Putting out the buffs. Scholar, Embrace cure potency has been increased to 180. Okay, because the fairies are just like kind of a joke. Lokium, MP cost reduced. Nice. Sucker, MP reduced. Nice. Seraphic Veil, cure potency has been increased from 150 to 180. Nice. Consultation reduced. Manifestation. I said so. They just got some MP issues that are getting resolved. So that's good. Good for them.
It's cool to see. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing in the way really of damage though. So I mean, they were in the top. You know, they're above Sage and White Mage. So yeah, they're fine. Astrologian, Gravity, area effect has been increased from 5 to 8 yelms. Okay. Gravity 2, 5 to 8 yelms. Okay, so the AoE is just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit.
Yep.
Sage. Prognosis. MP has been reduced from 800 to 700. Thank you. Creation diagnosis 900, 800. I usually don't have much in the way of MP issues, only when I forget to use my Adder Skull. So.
Oh, Adder Skull, yeah.
Yeah. Doses increased. Thank you. I'll take that. Toxicon increase. Pneuma increased. Okay, cool. And Philosophia area effective increase. Thank you. Because okay, like Honeybee, when I use Philosophia, I'm sorry, like I don't reach our bard at the other end of the arena when it's Honeybee and the dancing and all that, but voiding hearts and bullshit.
Oh, that. Yeah. Yep.
So I always feel bad because he's always at the other end of the arena. And I'm like, I can't reach you. Sorry. Hopefully someone gets you.
Yeah. Well, this will help a little bit with that then.
Yeah. Thankful for MP issues that maybe this will lessen. That's nice. I appreciate it. Damage is good. Thank you. I'll take all the damage. I didn't think there would be any buffs for Sage because they're like kit wise, they're really good. I love Sage. Such a good job. What do you think about all these changes?
I think the changes are fine. I really do hope there is a lessening of the gap between Astro and all the other healers.
I mean, it looks
Astro is just so far and beyond the strongest healer, which is great. You know, Astro is a good job, but I just want to see it a little bit more balanced.
Oh, and they got so much on their kit, especially
their kit's very strong too.
Their kit's so strong, and then the fact that they give buffs out is just like chef's kiss. So yeah, let's start with White Mage here and their post 90 abilities. Glare 4, it's just more glare. Medica 3, it's just more regen.
No, hold on. All right,
Glare 4 is not just an upgrade. Glare 4 is not just okay, fine. Tell me about it.
Okay, it's actually kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie, because you can only glare 4 when you use a Presence of Mind. So Presence of Mind now gives you 3 stacks of this. What's it called? A
Super
Sacred
glare?
Sight.
Sacred Sight. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sure. 3 stacks of Super Glare, and you can use them. They are instant cast, so you get to run around with them. But again, you are going to be using them in your burst. You're not going to use them anywhere else. So in your burst, great, you'll get to walk around some more. I personally would have liked to be able to stock these up and use them for movement, like Toxicon or something. But hey, look, whatever. Well, who am I? I don't know. I don't play White Mage, so. But sure.
Or maybe maybe if they made them DPS neutral, just strictly just a movement. But when you put a DPS buff on it, it becomes intrinsically tied to the 2-minute meta, where you need to use that to maximize your damage. So, correct. What's up, Tetro? How you doing? Medica 2. Increase HP, increase regen. Nothing else attached. Nothing new. Just
that's
more.
Medica 3, by the way.
Medica
Come
3.
on.
Medica 3. I'm sorry. Sorry. Not Medica 2, Medica 3.
Yes. Medica 2 is just now Medica 3, correct. Yes, it just got better. Okay. So, thumbs up.
Divine Caress, as we said, attached at the end of Temperance, creates a barrier around self and all party members for 400 potency shield. Grants Divine Aura when the barrier effect expires, which then grants regen. So what is that? It's 1,000 HP over the span, so that's not bad.
Yep, it's extra healing. Definitely good for when you would want Temperance up, which is like super duper triage moments. Your party's taking a lot of damage. You could slap down a Liturgy of the Bell. You can Divine Caress, and now your party should be just fine with all that shielding and healing over time. Like, that should be pretty powerful.
White Mage can solo heal the guns phase in M4S. There you go.
Probably, maybe. They probably have the GCD heal, but yeah, I could probably see it.
They want to anyways. They got to get those that damage variance 1380.
I guess they do. I always forget that like Rapture and the
Solace.
other one, Solace, are on the GCD. Whatever. Yeah.
It's such a weird way to get that hit, though. It's just to make up for all the glares you're missing. But yeah, it's fine. All right. I think healers are in a good spot. As far as Sage and White Mage getting a little bit of DPS buffs, that's good. That gets them a little bit closer to Scholar and Astro, as far as this chart is concerned. I just kind of wish that maybe because they don't have any sort of buff whatsoever, and they don't have like the energy drains to just dump, that something more could be done for these guys, for these bottom 2 healers.
For what? Sage and
White Mage.
Sage and White Mage. Yeah. I don't know. They're the selfish healers, so I don't know what they could possibly do to them besides just give them potency, which I mean they did. So yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see how that is in a few weeks, huh? All right. Now the big ones. All right, let's look at this chart, man. DPS, man.
Pick those look, at the we top. Just like
new job. We just on top.
You just went through like the job abilities for White Mage. You're not going to do like Scholar Stage. Look,
fine.
We can skip them. I know. Look, you're on a time constraint.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And honestly, I know nothing about. I have never ever played Scholar in my life, so I couldn't tell you a goddamn thing about Scholar. So if you just want to zerg through these DPS ones, because this is some juicy stuff.
Okay. Dragoon, Piercing Talon, got a potency buff. Hey, and when you do elusive jump, hey, you get another potency buff. That's fun. They want you to Piercing Talon. They did shrink the hitboxes for a reason, because it was just so goddamn ginormous last expansion.
And people were complaining about it, specifically melees. They were like, man, this is a snooze fest, man. I don't even have to worry about like anything. I could just, the hitbox is so big, positionals are easy, blah blah. Like, why don't we get like smaller? And now like they're complaining that they have to like actually go out of melee range.
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero sympathy. I'm sorry. As a monk player, sure. I have zero sympathy. I was watching, I think it was Desperius, name call, by the way. Desperius, if you're watching this, I like your content. It's okay. But he was going through these and he was like, oh man, like I've heard like, Dragoons are like really annoyed during like some Savage fights where they have to go out of range and they have to Piercing Talon. And I'm like, Bro, what does Monk do? Monk has nothing.
Nothing.
Do you think we're gonna hold Earth's Fire's reply and Wind's reply?
No.
No.
What you could do?
We're gonna use that for damage.
Yeah. What you could do is chakra.
That's what we do. We charge chakra. That's what we do. So I don't know. I just have zero sympathy for having to leave melee range. But now look, Dragoon can do it easier. Yeah. So cool.
Garrus Gogol, stacks of Nastron Ready has been reduced from 3 to 1. Yay! Okay, Dragoon is one of the busiest jobs in all of the game. So I kind of think this is good. Do you agree?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I do not agree.
Mirage Dive got a potency boost. This is probably to offset the loss of 2 Nastrons.
Correct.
Nastron itself got a potency boost to offset the Nastrons. Star Driver got a potency boost, probably to offset. I'm hoping. I'm guessing that this is an overall DPS boost. Just looking at the math.
I hope so too. Or it's at least neutral. I obviously what they're trying to go for here is they want Dragoons to be less busy, just like you said. They want it to be less busy. When we were talking about damage variance, Nastron getting put into like one giant chunk of damage is going to make that damage variance worse, because when you had 3 that you could potentially direct crit, now you only have 1. You got to put all your eggs in that one basket and hope you direct crit it.
And Star Driver, more importance on that. Starcross, more importance on that.
More importance on that, correct.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, the fewer abilities, the bigger these chunk of damage, the more importance on the damage variance, unfortunately. So I know, what I was thinking about Dragoon is like maybe at the end of their they drop that auto crit ability. That's what, every 40 seconds or 45 seconds, and they just make, if you land the front and rear combos, that 5th hit is always a direct hit.
Is always direct crit.
Crit hit would maybe, I don't know.
That could. But
again, they have so many things that hit hard, so I don't know.
They do.
Ninjas, throwing daggers. The trait melee damage increase. Okay, so they got an increase. Dream within a dream increased to 150, 180. Dokomori is now an AoE. Is that how I'm reading that? Okay, that's good.
That is correct. It's a cone. Yep.
Tenchi Jin. Players can now move with the effect of Tenchi Jin. Yay! I will not tell you guys how many times I flubbed that, like when I first got that, and was like, God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Because you want to move. It's just...
Yeah, this is a huge change for Ninja, honest to God. It was... You had to know when to Tenchi Jin. Sometimes you just couldn't. Sometimes you had to drift it because you just couldn't use it at a certain point in the fight. Yep. And now you will never have to worry about that ever again.
Yeah, you can use your ability when you're supposed to. Yay! This is part of the rotation. So yeah, that's good. A little bit of a DPS bump from the looks of it. A dream within a dream. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yes, Dream Within a Dream is the only real buff. But hey, look, we use that every 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's 3 hits of 180 potency, by the way. It's not just 1.
Correct.
So I think that's what, a 90 potency increase for the whole ability. So that's 90 potency every 3 minutes, or every minute. Jeez, what am I talking about?
Yep, every minute.
Every minute. So yeah, that's something. Ninjas were like near the bottom, I think, for melees. So glad they're getting a little bit of something.
According to this chart, they were second in RDPS.
Second?
Yeah.
What fight is this?
This is the entirety of Savage.
Ninjas are second.
Yeah.
For melee DPS, you mean?
Standard comps. Yep.
Because Picto's on top. So are you saying it's right under Picto?
It's right under Picto.
Okay, I don't believe that. That's crazy. Okay, well, I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, a good ninja is a really good ninja. So
a good ninja is a good ninja. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I thought Viper was there, but okay. Well,
yeah, Viper's actually a little bit down. It's like underneath the Dragoon, even underneath Monk. And I thought Monk was doing like stellar, and apparently Monk Ninja's been the RP DPS is just, you know, that trick attack Mug.
Yeah, but I mean,
Mug is just
that's Dokomori now. But yes,
okay, yeah.
But, Monk is also bringing up 5%. Whatever. It's fine.
Samurais, though, they don't have any buffs. So they just have their damage. Jotun recast has been reduced from 10 to 5. Okay.
What is Gyoten? Do you know what Gyoten is? I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that is that's the rush forward. That is the gap closer.
Okay, the gap closer. Okay, good. Gyofu has been increased from 230 to 240, just a slight uptick.
Pretty sure that's the combo starter. That's your traditional number one in the 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Zanshin has been increased from 820 to 900.
You get that after you use Iki Shoten. I believe you get it after you use Iki Shoten. You can use Ogen Makiri, and then you can Zanshin, and it actually looks really badass when you do it. It's one of the cooler looking animations in the game, in my opinion. But
nice. Tendo Kaishi I'm just going to call that TKS. Character motions and visual effects for the action have been changed. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually a big deal. The effect, the animation of the ability has completely changed, and actually, my friend Ultima, who I was just playing with, is very torn on it because you went from doing like 2 Keishi Setsugekas in a row, and it was like this big old flashy shing shing shing, and now what happens is you do the first 3 shings, and then the last to hit is like 1 slash, and then you like sheath your weapon. And honestly, I think it looks sick. Whenever the samurai sheaths the weapon during any of their animations, I think it's like the most badass thing in the world.
I mean, we legitimately worked at UCOB for our boy Ultima to finish Bahamut with the LB3 so he could sheath his weapon on
I still have that clip, by the way, somewhere. It looks fucking sick.
It's fucking sick, okay? He's like, it is now sheath. My job is done.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick.
All right. So no big overhauls like that happened with Samurais at 7.05. So no relearning of the job. Ultima
just damn it.
Ultima says that was epic. Find that clip. He needs to see it.
Yes, dude. I need to find it. I've got it somewhere.
Reapers. You're a Reaper. So Arcane Circle Sacrifice now stacks of Immortal Sacrifice when you or party members successfully land an ability. Huh?
Yep. Are you confused?
I am.
So in the past, you would only get a stack of Immortal Sacrifice if one of your party members would weapon skill or cast a spell.
Okay.
Now you get a stack if they use an ability.
Okay, cool.
So it just makes it more consistent that the Reaper gets their 8 stacks.
Yes.
God help you if you don't give me my damn 8 stacks. What were you doing for that 5-second duration where you didn't give me a stack and now my harvest or plentiful harvest is going to hit worse?
You know what? I actually remember that during High Concept Daddy.
It's the
when
problem
we
is
re-engage, you're like, why didn't I get 8? You're like, I don't know.
The biggest issue is when you're playing with a dancer, right? Because the dancer usually is dancing technical step or something during that duration. So like, I'm wondering if this is going to help that at all, because literally that was the only time I would get 7 out of 8 stacks. Like you have to be literally doing nothing for me to not get a stack from you.
You know, it's fine because dancers were so trash. Maybe they've gotten buffed up a bit, but they've been so trash that you just won't see them ever again.
Sure. Maybe.
No, it's fine. It's fine. This is good. Void Reaping. After learning the action Communio, hotbar icon will no longer be illuminated when remaining Lemire Shroud stacks are at 1. And that is also the same for Cross Reaping and Grim Reaping. Explain, Reaper friend.
Okay, so when you Communio,
yes,
it will light up Void Reaping and Cross Reaping for you to start. Yes. And then you hit one, and then the other one will light up. You hit that one, the other one will light up. You hit that one, the other one will light up.
Okay. Yes,
all the way until you get to the last stack. Okay.
Yes.
And the last stack, you're supposed to use Communio. So you can absolutely not use Communio and accidentally use Void Reaping or Cross Reaping again. Okay. So this is literally just like baby's first Reaper. Like, oh no, I'm at my last stack of Lemire stack. Yeah, I'm at my last Lemire stack. Now I should hit Communio instead of hitting Void Reaping or Cross Reaping.
Okay.
Hit the glowy button.
I know the reapings. I don't have Communio, so Now I know, and I will not be a scrub Reaper when I finally get to that stage. So
Just hit the glowing button, dude.
just hit the glowing button. Executioner's Gallows. The hit detection of this action will now trigger earlier. Was that an issue?
This was an issue. This was really weird because Executioner's Gibbet was fine. You would hit the button and the damage would instantly appear. But for whatever reason, Executioner's Gallows, the damage would lock in at the very end of the hit. It was so bizarre. And now I won't have to worry about that anymore. It's so great.
It just does it when it's supposed to.
It just does it.
All right. Machinist. Is that it? Nothing for Monk?
That's it for it. Yeah, they must really like where Viper and Monk are right now. And to be honest, I don't disagree with them. I think both of those jobs are doing just fine.
According to the chart, I mean, they're in ranges are decent.
Where is Reaper, by the way?
Reaper's down there, unfortunately.
Yeah, why the hell did we not get any buffs?
Sorry,
Just saying.
Dude. Ninja, Dragoon, Monk, Viper, Samurai, Black Mage, Reaper.
We're the lowest of like the the actual damage because everything under is the support caster in the range his range, right?
Yeah.
God help me. All right, whatever. Maybe they'll be good in Ultimate.
maybe we'll see.
Machinist. I'm playing it.
Yeah, you're playing it. It's locked in. Heated clean shot potency 140 to 160. Combo potency up by 20. Cool. Blazing shot up by 20. Flamethrower area effect has been increased. Okay, cool. Potency has been increased by 20. Cool. I love flamethrower.
I love flamethrower. I actually legitimately love flamethrower.
I love flamethrower too.
All you machinists out there not using flamethrower, look, it's really cool, and the dot ticks faster than you think it does. Okay, it's like every 1 second.
Yeah,
dude,
it's a tick like, every second.
It actually does a lot of damage if you use it correctly.
Yeah,
so just use it correctly.
What is that called? Recombo. Reassemble. Yes, thank you. I reassemble bio and then position myself perfectly to be, so I get everything. So I got the crits on the bio going, and I got the flamethrower going. And it's just everything's just melting. It feels good.
It's really good.
And I'm just like sitting there. I just hands off because like you twitch and it's done.
Correct.
So you got to Tenchi Jin that.
Exactly. I do feel like they should make it so that auto crossbow resets some of the timer on double check and checkmate. Personally,
that would be nice.
I would really like that. They still haven't done that. I don't know why they haven't done that because yes, machinist AoE is a kind of a little crummy right now. But I just love flamethrower. It feels so good. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Double check. Potency increased by 10. Checkmate also increased by 10. I believe that's the queen abilities.
No, double check and checkmate are Gauss Barrel and Ricochet. They're the upgraded versions of Gauss Round and Ricochet. I should say Gauss Round.
Okay. The OG CDs that you're constantly spamming. Gotcha.
Correct.
Good, because they needed some buffs. I don't know if this is going to be enough.
It's a lot of potency. I mean, look, heated clean shot you don't use as much. That's the combo ender of your 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But blazing shot is what you use under hypercharge. Yep. So you're automatically going to get 5 per hypercharge. So that's 100 extra potency that you're getting right there. Mm-hmm. And you are spamming double checks and checkmates there too, which is you getting 10 more potency. So I'm hoping over time this does kind of put them in a position where they are not complete garbage because unfortunately, machinists, I love you guys. But you just not doing the damage. So I'm hoping
they are at the literal bottom
of
the food chain, which is awful. And it's not just I mean, Fizz range DPS should be at the bottom, in my opinion.
I agree.
They should. Well, I find it hard because Machinist doesn't. They bring 2 defensives, but they don't bring any offensive buffs like Bard and Dancer. So correct. I feel like their regular damage should just be so much higher, and it's just not worth it. They're just not. It's not worth it.
Machinist was in the perfect place at the end of 6.0 or the 6 series 6.5.
Yeah.
Yes, at the end of Endwalker, I think Machinist was perfect. They were doing some great damage. They were like really just topping some of the charts. They were doing what they should do, and then they just literally fell to the bottom of the barrel. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping this claws them out a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit.
Dancer, fan dance increased by 30. Curing Waltz. Got a little bit of extra range. Okay, cool.
Glad to see that. Yep.
Fan Dance 3, increased by 20. And Starfall. Action change settings can now be enabled to switch Starfall Dance with Devilment.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what that means.
Again, they were down there as well. They at least can buff the party and an individual character. So if you have a Picto, this is your dance partner. That's your dance partner. Make big damage go bigger. I don't know if this is enough to bring them up. Bard is still pretty goddamn good right now. So, but they didn't get any buffs.
Some way. They did not.
They did not get any buffs. Just Machinist and Answer. So yeah, I think Bard's in a good spot. God, the fact that Red Mage and Summoner are below Bard though is just.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But
Black Mage now. Flare cast time reduced from 4 to 3. Okay, that's good. I like that. Flare is just so goddamn long to cast. It's like made for triple casts when you're in AoE packs.
Yeah.
Ley lines is now a charge action. Cannot be executed under the effect of ley lines. This has got to be for the drift that Fuji keeps talking about, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is specifically just for the drift. It is an extra usage of ley lines throughout the fight, though.
Yeah.
So that should not be discounted. That is extra damage for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, no more drifting. Yay! Happy for him and all black mages. Despair. The trait Enhanced Astral Fire will now make the cast time instant. Nice. How do we get Enhanced Astral Fire?
I don't know. The way I understand it is your despairs are just always going to be instant now.
Okay.
So that's just how I read it.
Okay. Cool. Enhanced Enochian 4 effect potency has been reduced from 33 to 32%.
They took a 1% damage nerf, but I'm assuming they're making it up with the extra ley lines and the instant cast despair. I'm assuming that's where they're making it up.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're not casting that despair. Go right into ice from there, I guess. Sure. Okay. Summoners. Crimson Cyclone. Additional effect grants Crimson Strike ready has been added. Effect ends upon the execution of certain summoner actions. What?
All right, you're the summoner.
No
Explain this
longer a combo action, instead requires the effect of Crimson Strike ready for execution.
You cleared top on summoner, dude. Come on.
Okay, so you do the Crimson Cyclone, it gives you the buff so that you can do the slam whenever you want.
Yes.
So before you had to do the dash and the slam, you had to do that
back to back. You had to do that. Yes.
So this separates those.
Correct.
Okay.
Now you can dash forward and then go back off and ruin 4 or use one of your slow cast different spells, and then at your leisure you can then book slam whenever you want.
Okay.
But you have to do it in Ifrit. I think what it says there at the top is the effect ends upon execution of certain summoner actions. That means like summoning another summon. You can't like go into Garuda and still have a book smack.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. That's good, because that would feel bad if you did the dash and then because you had summon Ifrit, summon Titan, summon Garuda, all got 50 potency buffs. Good. Sunflare got 100 potency buff. Yay. I don't know
what is
I mean, that's a lot of damage. I think that's
it's Solar Bahamut, but is that Solar Bahamut's like Death Flare?
I think so.
It's not its Akmorn, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think its Akmorn hits harder than that, but I think it's like the Death Flare version of Solar Bahamut, which is like the extra button you get to press. So,
looking at it, scrolling down.
I think I'm right.
You threw out names to me, and I'm like, I know a hit button damage goes out.
Correct. Hopefully. Exodus, Luckway. Yeah, Exodus is the Akmorn. Sunflare, here it is. Yeah, it's action. Astral Flow changes the Sunflare. So yeah, it's the Astral Flow button that you press, like the heal on Phoenix, the regen that you give another person.
It's the smaller one. It's the baby one.
Yes, the baby one.
But it's still damage. Overall, that's a lot. That's I was thinking that I don't think that's a good chunk of damage.
It's pretty chunky.
Every 1 minute that you're getting 150, and every 2 minutes you're getting 100 to 100, 200. Yeah.
In burst, by the way, that extra 100. So.
Yeah, that's good. And you might get that in with whatever summon. You can get that in burst of 2. So yeah, that's good shit. Yeah. That's good shit. I like it. Red Mage, Verflare, Verholy, Scorch, Resolution, all potency buffs. Just potency buffs. That's all they needed. More really damage. Just more damage.
It's 130 potency per melee combo. So every melee combo, we get an extra 130 potency. So I'm hoping that puts us somewhere. It ain't going to put us close to Pictomancer. I can tell you that right now. But hopefully it puts us above Bard.
Yeah. Does it get us above Bard? Summoner and Rage Mage. Does this get them above Bard? That's the question.
No, we can only hope.
Oh, Pictomancer. Palm motif. Palm will now appear on your canvas upon entering instance duties or when restarting an encounter. Awesome. Same with Hammer. Same with Starry. Like, why wasn't this like at the beginning of the expansion?
You're forgetting the buff where Pictomancer instantly kills the boss if you bring one to the party. So I don't know why they did that, honestly. Like, did they need to buff it harder? Just instantly kill the boss? It's crazy. No, I'm kidding, by the way, but like, come on. I know they weren't going to nerf it. I knew it. Okay.
Yeah, they don't do nerfs. They don't do nerfs in this game.
Sure, whatever.
Except for Black Mage in that 1%.
It's the Black Mage 1%, yes. But they won't see that as a nerf again because, extra ley lines, by the way.
Extra ley line. What?
But no, seriously, this is a good change for Picto. There's nothing worse in the world than when you zone in, you queue into a duty, and the tank pulls before you're able to do your motifs. You're like, excuse me?
I mean, this still doesn't change the issue where you forget to do it when you're, in a dungeon, you're going after a boss.
Nah. In between ad pulls, that's too much work, dude.
In between ad pulls, in between, when you come up for the boss, you're like, you pulled, fuck.
Yeah.
And then Starry Muse, when you have show limited on your ground effects, this will no longer appear for you. So I won't get to see your grassy field.
Yeah, if you have... No, that's not what it means. You can still see the grassy field. Starry Muse is that, like, really obnoxious ability that, like... That's the one that heals. It's the one you get from doing the 5 spells in your grassy field. You get the... No, that's Rainbow Drip. No, it's the free cast you get when you put up your grassy field. It's like the big starry thing, all the stars come down. Apparently everybody could see it even if they had battle show limited. And it was just like blinding people. So they complained, and now you don't see it anymore.
Okay. Well, this has the ground effect.
It does say the ground effect. Starry Muse.
I think that's the grassy field.
Even in show limited, I still see ley lines. And do you know how annoying that is when I'm trying to find a certain spot to stand?
I'm just thinking that everyone sees your grassy field and they're like, fuck you, Picto. You're in your buff window and doing all sorts of damage. Why can't we all be like you?
Meanwhile, Machinist is like in the corner, just like sad, like, God, I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here. My flamethrower. I got my flamethrower. Keeps me warm at night.
True.
All right. So we're not going to go over the individuals. We're just going to kind of go with how we're feeling about all the DPS in general.
Sure.
Picto's still at the top.
Picto's still the top. People are saying it's still king. I agree, it's still king. There's no buffs here that I can see.
And we've talked about this. We've talked about this, as a size, but the main issue with Picto, especially in fights that have downtime, is that their DPS is incorporated into that. So if you have downtime even a little, you're boosting Picto's numbers while everyone else is just sitting on their ass.
Correct. So, I mean, some jobs are doing something, like samurais can meditate. That's great.
Sure.
Reapers can charge their scythe for another harvest moon. That's great. But there are a lot of jobs that legitimately are just sitting there doing nothing. Machinist is doing nothing. All of the Fizz range are doing nothing. I guess Dancer could improvise, but that's not damage. That's just mitigation.
Not to mention, they still have Adel. They have the group shield, right?
They do. They have a very powerful raid buff in the form of the
grassy knoll.
The grassy knoll. No, the Yes, they have the raid buff, the 5% raid buff, but I'm talking about the one you're talking about, the
shield.
mitigation, the shield.
It starts off as a single, then you can spread it.
Yes, which is actually a little annoying.
It is a little annoying, but
it like takes 2 OGCD windows to do, so you kind of have to like prep it.
Yeah, you have to plan that shit.
Yes. Which, okay, a little bit of skill expression for the Pictos, by the way. Congratulations. Sure. It's called Tempura Grassa. Jesus. But yes, Tempura Grassa is very strong. I would even maybe say it's stronger than Magic Barrier, which is the only thing I can really compare
Curing
it to.
Waltz? Maybe?
Curing Waltz, sure, but that's a fidge range thing. I'm thinking like just casters in general, like bringing an extra mitigation. Sure. The only 2 jobs that bring extra mit are Red Mage and Picto, unless you really call like the regen from Phoenix, but like
or the heal from Solar. I mean, if you could plan that.
That is true. That's actually a pretty strong.
It's a strong heal too.
Pretty strong heal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we could compare all of those, but yes, even then, I would still say that Tempura Grassa is stronger. It's literally bringing everything that a caster could bring except a raise, and it's doing the most damage in the game. So. I don't understand. I've been an advocate for dropping the raid buff down to 3% for a long time. I don't know why Starry Muse is still doing 5% extra mit or extra buffs. It should be doing like 3% extra damage to put it in line with Reaper. But
it has one of the best dashes in the entire game.
It has the best dash. Let's not mince any words here. It is the best in the game.
It's the best dash. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a cool animation. The slide, but the fact that you get a little sprint at the end of it for a couple seconds too is like,
yep,
awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Some will say that I get a damage buff on my piercing talon.
Hey man, that's cool. Throw your spear, dude.
I get a buff on my Reaper scythe thing.
Harp. Yeah, I get an extra damage. It's not even extra damage. It just makes Harp instant cast, which is great.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, you can use that Harp as you're walking back into the fight. Oh no, because you can blink back. That's right.
I can warp back.
You can blink back.
Reaper's close to having the best dash in the game because you do get the warp back. There are some things you can do with that. It's kind of fun, but still, I would rather take the sprint personally at the end of it. But whatever.
All right. So Picto's at the top, like it's just they're the king. Where I feel like melee should always be king because they have to be in melee range, and especially in this raid design where the hitboxes are tremendously smaller than they were in Endwalker. Like I feel like melee should be at the top across the board.
I agree with you. I feel like there should be a Black Mage should occupy somewhere in the melee-esque range. Maybe a little bit less than like Samurai and Viper as the selfish DPS. Yeah. But like somewhere there, I don't mind Black Mage being in the melee area. Like melee-esque, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But because they have to actually plan the fight out. They have to like plan everything to a T.
You say
they gotta perform.
They keep giving Black Mage more and more mobility. Like, what happened to them being a turret? Like, and they had to actually plan their movement out.
The joke has been for a while that Red Mage is now like the one with the most movement like issues.
Yeah.
Because out of all the casters, like everything else has. Yeah, every other caster has a way to move now, including Black Mage. They got 2 triple spell or triple cast stacks. They've got now this Swift. Instant Despair. They've got like Xena Glossy. They've got Swift Cast. They've got like Firestarter procs. Like they're zipping around. They've got ethereal manipulation. They've got Between the Lines. Mm-hmm. It's like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can move their ley lines.
And now they can move their ley lines, and they get 2 of them. So,
and for us, I love it. Like after the, I call it cardiac cardinals. After that's all done, right. I zip back in, and I actually go to the spot where I know Fuji wants to be, so that he can zip to me and then pull his ley lines.
And then puts his ley lines there. That's sick.
So I do that for him. So good times.
But no, I agree. Melee should be on top, at least around on top with Black Mage. I think Pictomancer should be below all the melees and Black Mage, maybe like right below. Then we have like Summoner and Red Mage somewhere there, a little bit lower than Picto, and then we have the Fizz range, not super far behind, but behind enough so that there's, there is kind of that ranged Fizz tax, being able to literally run anywhere you want in the fucking thing and to do your damage, and you know what I mean? So that's where I think it should be. That's not where it is right now. It's close. Just got to bring Picto down a little bit. That's all I got to do.
Bring Picto down a little bit. Bring Reaper up a little bit.
Reaper's fine. It's there.
It's there.
One of the melees has to be on the bottom, okay? And it just has, one of them has to be, and it's just Reaper now.
It's fair,
so,
but it's below 2 casters, so I don't know. It just feels bad.
I don't mind it being below. I'm telling you, I don't mind it being below Black Mage.
Last expansion, it was at the time. It was like, yeah, Reaper is the new job. Yeah, like it just got shat on. It got shat on.
Reaper has always kind of been like semi-consistent. It was like near the top at the start of the expansion, and then they buffed everything else, and now it's at the bottom.
And then hopefully Dancer and Machinist see their numbers go up. And if you're a Dancer, you don't have a Picto in your party, I feel sorry for you, because that's you need that. I mean, that's if you want to pull numbers, you need a Picto in your party to pull that RDPS.
You absolutely do, yes. I mean, a Dancer is only as good as its dance partner. Let's be real. So you better have some sort of like god Picto or something, or like Samurai or something, or what, Ninja apparently. Get the fuck out of here, Ninja. Whatever,
Summoner and Red Mage, like God help them. I hope these buffs are good. All right, that's going to be it for our takes. DPS is in kind of tatters. Tanks are in a good spot. Healers are getting closer. Yeah. Overall, I think the health of most of the balance is okay. Picto just being kind of a major outlier. If it wasn't for Picto, I think we'd be okay. Maybe Bard being so much better than the other Fizz ranged.
The other issue I see.
It's
really the only other issue.
It's like it makes it a hard, like, you gotta play Bard. And my Summoner. Ugh. I know it's a caster Fizz range, but I will see. We'll see how his damage does with the buffs.
We'll see. Yeah. All
right, that is it for today. We're gonna wrap this up. I think we will talk about our content impressions next time, and then the following week we'll talk about MSQ and any story stuff that we have found.
Get through for 7.1.
Yep. All right. Until next time, though, Piers, where can people find you, sir?
Yeah, we'll make this quick. You can't find me anywhere because I'm literally nowhere except for maybe sometimes on Twitch. Radio_Piers. I like to stream sometimes. I actually have more followers than I thought I did. I think I probably mentioned this in one of the last shows. So I got to stream. I got to make content for the boys and hopefully the cuties out there. All right. Look, if you're a cute chick, you hit me up. Radio_Piers.
So fucking cringe.
I'm sorry. I told you I'd make this quick. Okay, never mind. All right. But yes, you can also find me on Final Fantasy 14, of course. I'll be playing it a lot more now that 7.1 is out. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 11 actually lately. So now that there's new content in Final Fantasy 14, I'll be playing it more. Find me on the Leviathan server on the Primal Data Center. Come say hi. Let's chill. Let's do some dailies. Let's do the new 24 man. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, where can people find you, my friend?
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming, playing Final Fantasy 14 most days of the week. You know what? That wasn't really true. It was kind of a content lull, but we're getting back at it now that we got Ultimate and new content, and things are exciting once again. But otherwise, you can find me on Ready Check Raideo as well. Saturday nights playing Jedi Survivors, and that's been hoot and holler. So until next time, though, y'all take care of yourselves. Stay safe. End of line.
Goodbye.
Peace be with you, my friends. And also with you.
And also with you, yeah. Are you just gonna like